Hi guys, welcome to Metal Rock Zone. Today I want to talk about the MANOWAR concert that I saw yesterday. The concert was in Pardubice in the Czech Republic, and it was my first time seeing this band. So what I'm going to tell you today is how it was. Sound, performance, chemistry, crowd, everything. And I'll show you some footage from there as well. And I checked in with one fan before the gig about how he saw this. He was actually the youngest guy there, I think. Probably second youngest. Anyway, before we start, follow us on social media, Metal and Rock Zone on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, where we share videos and stuff like that, shorts or shorter videos from concerts and information and stuff like this, news, whatever, birthday wishes, anything that has to do with metal and rock, it's there. So MANOWAR for me has kind of just always been there. It started in 1980 in New York, and it was more of a band that I knew how they looked than how they sound, and that's because they have this very interesting kind of masculine look and muscular guys and heroic, axes and weapons and dragons and whatever, and sometimes some good-looking women. So I didn't know that band very much. I mean, I didn't listen to them. They weren't like kind of part of my upbringing that was, Accept and Iron Maiden and those kind of bands, but they were always there, and I knew, some of their albums like, Kings of Metal and this Fighting the World, I think it was called, and these albums that came out there in, 1987, 88 or something like that. But yeah, I kind of always had a little bit of this feeling that it's too much somehow. They take this whole heroic masculinity thing to a level that was beyond what I wanted. And they're now on tour called, appropriately, Crushing the Enemies of Metal. I don't know who are the enemies of metal, but MANOWAR are crushing them. And before I went to this concert, I started listening a bit more. I started, putting in some of their playlists and listening. And it's kind of very on or very off for me, this music. They're either great songs or songs that give me like kind of chills. I feel a little bit silly. And maybe, I don't know, it's the themes also, like Valhalla and all that stuff. I mean, I am from a country that should be all about Valhalla, but we're not. Anyway, yeah, founded in 1980. They've done 13 albums. And you can hear, when you listen to MANOWAR, that they have influenced a lot of different bands, like all this Viking metal, a lot of the power metal, and a lot of these kind of heavy metal genres. I'm not sure they would be there if there wouldn't have been bands like MANOWAR. So I think they planted the first flag, and then others followed through. The band today is Joey DiMaio on the bass, and he's been there from the beginning. And Eric Adams, the singer. These are two childhood friends. They've been in the band from the start. I think Eric Adams is 70 years old this year, and Joe DiMaio is like 68 or something. So these are no kids. And then they have two touring members. That's Dave Chedrick on drums, and then Michael Angelo Batio on guitars. These are guys that are just on this particular tour with them. And the gig was in Pardubice, and I'm gonna play you now a little video I kind of recorded when I was coming there to the arena where this was held. So here in Pardubice, I don't know what's 100,000 people city or something here in the Czech Republic. I'm gonna see MANOWAR, and it's actually quite a crowd here, as you can see. So I'm gonna get in line here. I've never seen MANOWAR before, and I'm very excited about it. I don't even know if there is a warm-up band or what's happening here. Maybe I can talk to someone here. And yeah, like usually on these kind of old school metal concerts here in the Czech Republic, the crowd is quite interesting. These are, I don't know, these are the people that you don't necessarily see them, they're not working in offices or eating in fancy restaurants. These are people that are there to rock, and they maybe, I don't know, I don't know where they're from, but I see them on concerts and I don't see them anywhere else. And I was looking for a guy to talk to, and I found Patrick. So let's check what Patrick thought about this. So I found a guy here. I found Patrick. Patrick, you're excited about Manowar?
Yes,
Have you seen them before?
yes, I am.
Where?
In Brno.
Really? Aha. And are they one of your favorite bands?
Yes,
Yeah, I like this. Yes.
because my father introduced them.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How old are you?
Now I'm 19.
Oh, you could be my son. So, do you know if there's some warm-up band also, or?
I think there isn't.
Okay, just Manowar, just rock and roll. Okay, enjoy.
Metal.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. So it's clear that Patrick has a good father because his father takes him to metal concerts and introduced him to Manowar. I had no clue when I was going there how many people would be there. I had never been to this venue. I think I've been once to that city. It's about 100,000 people or something. And so, and then we came through. I mean, there was a lot of people outside, as you could see, but when we came in, there wasn't a lot of people there. I mean, where the merchandising was, that's a big area, and then we were walking through the hallways, and there wasn't so many people, and I was kind of like thinking, because this was like way before. This is like an hour before the concert starts, and so I was kind of like thinking, no, okay, it doesn't look like it's going to be a full house, and then we came in and we found out actually that everyone was in their seats already, and it's a capacity of like 10,000 people, so you basically had almost everyone in the stadium or in the arena like 40 minutes before the gig started, and there was no warm-up band, and that was a bit of a surprise to me, and kind of when I found out later how the whole show would go, I was even more surprised that they didn't have someone there to warm up this crowd, because when we drove into town, we could see people already lining up outside, and that was like 2.5, 3 hours before the band started. So I think they could easily have had a warm-up band. And then they came on, and it was off somehow. The sound wasn't good. I mean, the show was cool and all that, but the sound was really bad on the first 2 to 3 songs. And I was kind of doubtful that this would turn out to be something bad. I don't know exactly what it was, but it felt like the drum sound was weird. It was kind of hollow. And obviously, I mean, knowing what I know about concerts, it sometimes takes 2 to 3 to 4 songs to get the sound right. But that's an awful lot when you're only playing maybe 14, 15, 16 songs. And the crowd was very kind of modest. I mean, I think it was a bit older crowd than usually, and well, usually it's an old crowd, but this was an even older crowd. And they played the Manowar song and Kings of Metal. Those 2 songs were the first 2 songs, and I felt that they were a little bit wasted, because these are really good songs, great anthems, but they were a little bit wasted because of the sound. And then I think, yeah, on song 4, Holy War, I think they kind of kicked it in somehow. Then they got it. The show was kind of cool. It was the traditional kind of masculine theme and kind of big behind them thingy. And then they had smoke, they had the flamethrower, they had some fireworks in the beginning and at the end. It was kind of cool. And I mean, the band, I mean, yeah, these are 70-year and 68-year-old guys, these 2 guys, Eric and Joey, and they might not be as fit as they were back in the days when they were pumping iron before they went on stage. But actually, Eric solves it by wearing some sort of an outfit that creates a six-pack. I need to get hold of one of those. And by the way, talking about that, don't tell my girlfriend that I'm wearing the obituary t-shirt. She hates that t-shirt, so she cannot see this video. Eric is an amazing singer, actually. I was very positively surprised about how his singing is. I mean, they have tuned down some of the songs. That's clear, because if you would listen to some of the videos that we have on the channel, and then you listen to the original version, it's clearly been tuned down a little bit. But he does an amazing job for a 70-year-old. And what is interesting is that sometimes when I record songs in concerts and I listen to them afterwards, I find that the singer sounds worse than in the gig. And this is not the case with Eric. He does an amazing job. As I said, the music sounded weird sometimes. I don't know. There were some backing tracks. I mean, I guess with a band like this, you need to have some soundscapes behind, and there may be some keyboards and stuff like that that are part of their music that are not playing live, and I get that. But I felt it went off a few times, and the drums. But what I liked is that the band wasn't nervous about this. I mean, there was an example where they started this song, Heart of Steel, and they sing that both in English and German. I mean, they have an English version and a German version. And Eric started the song out in German, then he switched accidentally to English, so he stopped the song. He started it again and started it in English, switched accidentally to German. So he started that song 3 times, but you didn't sense, I mean, obviously they've been doing this since 80 something. So they've probably gone through all mistakes you can do as a band. But it was cool, kind of, and the crowd, I felt that he kind of got the crowd a little bit there, but I think he could have done more with that. He could have played with the crowd a little bit more. And it wasn't really until Joey DeMaio did a speech, which was basically more or less about the Czech community in Chicago that he now calls Chicago, and Czech beers. It was a very kind of powerful speech about Czech beer, but that got the crowd, and this is what people want to hear. And I see it with bands that come to the Czech Republic. If they speak a few words in Czech, they talk about their beer, then they can kind of get them to eat from their hand, you know. And but I felt that they could have kind of played with the crowd a little bit more. They did 15 songs, and all the major kind of hits were there for me, like kind of the highlights for Warriors of the World United and Black Wind, Fire and Steel. Those were really, really good, and the sound was great, and they played them kind of late in the program. They did a bass solo, which for me didn't really do anything, but I get, you know, if you're a bass enthusiast, that you will love it. I mean, I think he plays a 6-string bass or something like that, so it's actually kind of interesting. But later on, he pulled all the strings out of the bass to create noise. And they did the guitar solo as well, where the bass was playing, and I was thinking, okay, now we just need the drum solo, and then this is perfect. But that never came, actually. But yeah, this show had kind of all the traditional hallmarks of a good heavy metal show. And it went quite fast, which is both good and bad. I mean, it means that I wasn't bored, but also it may be because there was no warm-up, and so the whole duration of this experience wasn't maybe very long. Keep in mind that I drove 1.5 hours to go and see them, so I would have wanted more. And it was loud, and I think they're the Guinness World Record holder of loud, and they take that all the way, like there's a massive loud ending to every song. And as I said, he pulled out the strings of the bass. He basically pulled them out to create noise and explosions and stuff like that. And there was a lot of, I don't know what it's called when the guitars are like in this super high pitch. I mean, I held my ears twice during this concert. that never really happens. And I was thinking, oh shit, I gotta start putting in some earplugs. But yeah, my verdict on this and recommendation, I'm gonna have to give this concert 8. It was not bad, not perfect. I'm very happy that I got to see this band because I can hear when I started listening more to them how big an influence they have been on some of the bands that I love. And there were some really, really good performances there that just nailed it. But there were also some that were kind of off, and I feel that a band like this should be able to deliver a little bit better somehow. Now, the negatives were that, as I said before, the sound was off. The backing tracks somehow seemed to either go off beat or something. The guitar even went off key. I felt that he was playing a solo in the wrong key at some point, but I'm not a guitar expert or anything like that. But there was something off. The fan interaction could have been much better. They could have done more with that because they have these anthems where you can get people to sing along. You can just, get them to sing the chorus with you or something like this. And with 10,000 people or whatever, probably like 9,800 or whatever in the house, that could have been great. And it's not a lot for your money. I mean, this was a 40 euro ticket, one band, and it's kind of 14 songs if I don't count the bass solo as a song. So, and I felt that the first 2 songs, Kings of Metal and Manowar, were kind of wasted in a bad sound. So in the end, I felt that I was getting like 12 songs, and thereof maybe 6 were really nailing it. So I think it could have been better with that. But tell me, guys, if you were in that show, what did you think? Did you feel the same experience? Did you hold your ears? Was it too loud? Are you old like me? And but go and see Manowar. You know, this is one of those bands that we never know when it's the final tour, and these are people that are same age as my mom, and I just couldn't imagine my mom being out there touring the world playing heavy metal every night. So you got to catch them while you can. Um, they just started this European tour, crushing the enemies of metal. So there's a chance to see them. There's more stuff coming up. We have on Saturday, I'm going to go and see Solstafir from Iceland and Katatonia from, I think they're Finnish, yeah, from Finland. I just did a review on their album, actually, which I hope the band will not see before I come there, because I'm going to meet the bands during the day and spend some time with them. And you can check out that review here, but just don't tell the band. They will not be happy with me. It's not a great album. And then next week on Tuesday, I'm going to drive 3.5 hours. This is fucking dedication, guys. I'm going to drive 3.5 hours to a place called Slín. It's a small town in the Czech Republic where I'm going to see legends, Accept, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll do a review on that and I'll put it with you guys. Like, share, and comment. I love the comments, and take care. See you around. Bye.